The only complaint I have about Team Star's draft is that they defined Tiny Mid a bit. I mean, they defined it towards the end, yes, but they defined it. And I think the beauty of Tiny Flex is that yes, you can play it as a mid, but ideally don't, because a 4 is much stronger as Tiny. And don't love the Tiny mid unless you're very confident you're going to win early, and it's just really difficult. He has a very similar tempo to TA mid, and we've seen the TA mid struggle, except that Tiny is actually an earlier tempo even than TA mid as your win condition, so I think it works. Among Us draft for now, though, a bit different than last time. They are concentrating on team fight still, but a bit more early than last time, though.
I like this a lot better, though. I like the Sand King much more than the Centaur. Even though the Cuckoo played fantastic on the Centaur, I can't fault him on that. But I think just because of the limitation of the hero, it inherently makes your playstyle a lot different, right? So with the Sand King now, he can, especially if he goes for eggs or whatever, it allows you to be much more aggressive, play a much better initiation role, especially early on. Because I think undeniably, we saw that one team fight where he stampeded and then just ate an arrow, and then I was like, well, there goes the initiation. Luckily, March was there to save the day with a fantastic sentry, right? But without that, that's it. Yep. Yeah, sentry ward, yes. But so I like this a lot better because I think it gives you a lot more options to fight earlier. You pair that with the Phoenix, you pair that with the Sand King. On Undying Tombstone, I mean, this team fight is already incredible. Look how much AoE control, or like zoning, really, that you have here on Among Us.
And Sand King is one of the few heroes that I would say that fulfills both the team fight 5-on-5 role and also great at pickoffs because Burrow Strike is a target.
Especially early, right?
Yes.
The Burrow Epicenter feels like a wet paper towel later on in the game.
It's a stupid ability.
It really is.
It's such a dumb ability.
Even with the talent makes it like better, but like it's like, okay.
I also particularly like how Sand King is being played now with the changes to Caustic Finality. They're actually ignoring Sandstorm very often and going for Burst Strike, Caustic Finality in lane. And now Sand King is actually picked against really weak supports like Oracle, for example, who's decent in lane, but he's not a Lina, he's not an Ancient Apparition, he doesn't deal that much damage. So Sand King can kind of bully the carry by using his Caustic Finality Burst Strike approach.
I think we might have another scenario of Team Star kind of just drafting and ignoring the other side of the screen. You pick the Spectre into the Undying.
I didn't love Spectre against Undying, nor do I love Spectre against Sand King, nor do I love Spectre against Phoenix.
Yeah, that's like, what I mean.
And you have a good Spirit Vessel carrier in both Sand King and Phoenix. Or seriously.
Even Undying, technically.
I mean, sure, yes. It's a really, I don't like it very much.
No, it's a bit scary, right?
I don't like their synergy either, though. I don't think Oracle Spectre is the greatest combo in the world. If I'm kind of hoping here is NP off. You put a Tiny as a 4, and then you pick up a mid laner here that brings you some team fight. Like Kunkka, for example. I'd like a Kunkka for Team Star. Or Invoker. I would be okay with Invoker too, because Invoker's really good against PA.
I mean, hey, is the Timber banned?
No, it's not. You could run a Timber offlane.
Timber? Three strength heroes right now already. It wrecks the PA in lane.
Yeah, but calling Phoenix a strength hero is like, I see your point.
Yeah, but sure, right? But you can close the gap on the Phoenix. Yes, it doesn't really help address the fact that you need someone to also hit Tombstone and also hit Egg. Granted, right? But I think once you kind of pick Spectre, NP, you're kind of already especially Oracle, Tiny, all four of these heroes really, you're kind of conceding AoE control, right? Whereas Among Us, they can like kind of play Fortnite, build a whole base here, and then deny that whole area from you.
Puck was really good too, because Puck would also be team fight, but on top of that being an egg hitter plus a tombstone hitter, which you kind of need right now. I don't love, I'll be honest, I don't love the Timber because Undying is really good against them, and so is the Sand King, especially early with Epicenter, ironically.
We just need, there's a Storm.
Yeah, you're lacking stuns on Team Star.
There's a lot of holes to patch here for Team Star.
You need so many things.
Because you also need, I mean...
Maybe a Lina here. Maybe a Lina. Burst damage for Phantom, you do carry a stun, which somewhat reliable with Yules, Egg hitter and Tombstone hitter. Because if you do Kunkka here, Kunkka just sucks against Storm, so you really can't use him either.
Yeah.
You could run a Tiny mid, but if you're running a Tiny mid here, then GG, man.
The thing is, like, we don't have any. There's like no escape either. Like, there's no like there's no save. I guess you have Oracle.
What? Yeah, there is Oracle.
we need some. Yeah, I guess maybe that'll do. I don't know. I'm just like. I don't see how a team fight goes very well if Among Us literally just Icarus dive in, plop a Tombstone down, and that's it.
Is that Doom mid? No, it's going to be Doom offlane, right? No.
Oh,
yes!
Okay.
We did it!
He's so excited.
Oh, I don't want to... Sorry, I was so excited that camera actually cut me halfway through. I didn't like the Doom, the Tiny mid at all this game, so I'm really happy they run Doom. I think Doom is pretty solid. I actually think this is a good game for Ags, but I always think that. The Doom, it deals with your Storm because, of course, the Doom. He carries a fair amount of magical damage. He's a pseudo tank. He has a good lane as well against the Storm. He farms decently quickly, but it's not slow because of a Devour creating gold in the game. And you can also give a lot of space to Spectre. I don't think this fixes your draft. I would still benefit Among Us slightly, but I like this by Team Star. I actually think this is a pretty decent pickup here. It fixes a lot of the holes that you were missing in your draft, and his strong laning presence is nice. The biggest issue with Team Star is that you really only have one person to deal with the Tombstone and the Egg, because obviously Oracle is not going to put himself in the middle of the fight to deal with those things, and that's Nature's Prophet. So there's a lot riding in Nature's Prophet's shoulders in terms of eliminating the two supports, and Spectre pick, unfortunately not too great against two relatively tanky supports that have a pseudo escape, in the case of of course Supernova, or the healing from the Undying. So still pretty favoring Among Us, though I think this pick of Doom is a really smart pick. I'm hoping to see what Team Star could do, because this time it's kind of inverted. Their late game, slightly better than Among Us, at least just because of the virtue of the Spectre.
Yeah, I think the Spectre, the Doom, you've got great late game here as well. I'm still a little bit concerned. Yes, the classic Doom to just counter all of the Spirit Brothers, because, I mean, it does in theory, but it's going to be a little bit hard to catch him here. Yamada, if he can get his hands on the Storm Spirit, maybe that could lead to some kills here. Other than that, the Furion maybe, if he can get a good Orchid, but again, I don't know. I'm not really loving the support duo either out from Team Star. So maybe that is going to be what ends up being the biggest difference maker here between the two teams.
So who are you favoring in the draft overall?
Among Us.
Yeah, okay. Likewise. Though I do like the Doom very much. I'm very much a fan of the Doom.
Yeah, I think mid Doom is a lot of fun to see. It did get nerfed a bit, right? I think they, especially on the Radiant side, didn't they move one of the camps or something? They made this an easy camp or something, whatever.
Yeah, this was a long time ago. No, but this is perfect. The easy camp was on the Dire side. Radiant Doom has an advantage.
That's right. That's right.
Because this is a medium camp. They just pointed out. So yeah, it's perfect actually. In fact, right now mid does have an advantage on Radiant than on Dire, just because of the simple change, which I didn't really understand, because Radiant in general already has an advantage. So why? But okay.
Oh no, he's gonna get dewarded instantly.
This is the second time March does this in a game.
Yeah. The first time March I actually saw it. This time March, I don't want to say he got lucky. I think it's good scouting right there. Good scouting report, rather.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he saw, I don't think he had time to see DDZ put it on. But I guess it's just a very common ward there. And he's like, there's a sentry here. But it's just a sentry, so even if you deward it, you don't get your money back, which is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to be a little bit of experience. Lots of gold in the pocket of March before the Horn even starts. Fun stuff. I mean, it's hard to come by as well in Undying. That's a hero that does not farm. We'll see, though. They're already having 4 heroes down here to pressure Lance, which, I mean, they're going to be probably hoping for a first blood or something or another. But either way, I think with these 3 heroes down here, the Spectre is going to have just an awful time in lane. Yes, the Spectre late game is going to be incredible, but I don't know how you even get her there this game. There's just so much pressure for her. Yeah. I want to say almost at all stages of the game.
Your lane is awful. Like, it really is awful. They actually decided to put the PA against the Spectre, which I think it's fine, to be honest. Like, you can try lane aggressively, and Spectre has nothing. The one thing I'll say about Spectre is that she is a hero that if your other lanes do decently well, she can recover just by virtue of Haunt, which is great. But of course, that's a tall order, right? Like, if you already start with your carry needing to recover using kills, it's not going to be great.
Yeah. Mid lane DDZ versus Abed. I don't know. I feel like this should kind of be nice for Abed. At least, let me think here. At level 3, he's going to have a nice peak over the Doombringer. So we might see him try and play a little bit aggressive there around his peaks. But other than that, I mean, I think the Doom is just going to be a little bit too tanky. DDZ probably a bit too good with his position in here to really get punished frequently by Abed here, especially after playing against him on the Kunkka. So I don't expect him to be too silly, but we'll see how he's able to get to fare in this lane.
Storms still has an upper hand in this lane, though, slightly. Not so much in kill potential, as you mentioned, but because Doom is already the slowest hitter in the game, 2.0 BTA, it's BAT, sorry,
BAT,
it
yeah.
sucks so much. that Storm's Overload really messes up your lasting time very often. So if Abed knows how to play around this, you can usually win in terms of last hitting. The only advantage Doom has is that especially early, you have a lot of attack damage, which makes up for this.
Especially with a Quelling Blade, right?
Yeah, yeah. But it's still not enough, though, especially since the nerf of the Quelling Blade. Like, Abed should still do decent. Yeah, well, there's a reason why Storm is usually considered a soft counter to most melee mids, because it's just so good to stop them from last hitting, and Static Remnant is great at dealing damage to them.
Yep. That was, there they go. I was about to say, they're probably going to TP Lance away here. He's not having a great time, 7-0. You do have Candy Loon able to just rotate TP around the map freely, so we'll see if we get any counter rotations in response out from among us here. As, yep, indeed, already we have March going, hello, Spectre, did you miss me? It's going to be a monster mashup here. We got freaking Giant Rock, we have Zombie, Spectre Ghost.
The difficulty here for the lanes for Star is that your carry is not being countered by the enemy carry or by the enemy offlaner, as is usually the case, but rather by the supports. And supports wasting a TP is much less impactful than a carry or an offlaner needing to rotate. So as you can see here, in your Dream, he sticks into the lane if he can, and then they just force the rotation of the Undying, which is going to make Spectre's life a living hell. In fact, I would even argue that it's the Sand King who has a better lane against Spectre than the PA. PA is just a really strong laner in general. So it's looking a bit scary, to be honest, for Lance. Kuku did go for the Sandstorm build, though, which is a bit of a greedier build, less lane dominating, but much better if you want to keep on farming on this hero. And safer as well.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be looking to flash farm as much as he can before PA gets, presumably this game, I think the Battle Fury. I think you need to be able to scale against the Spectre, against the Doom. So I think he's just looking to try and flash farm as much as he can early, and I think Sandstorm's just the best build for that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can set up a lot of stacks in Sandstorm with them. Though I have seen Caustic Finale builds being really, really effective in that sense. But I'm also assuming that since Kuku started the lane against Nature's Prophet, he's like, well, if I go Caustic Finale at the beginning of the lane and they don't swap, I'm pretty much foregoing my lane, right? And NP can carry this. I mean, Candy Loon could opt to go for a much more of an aggressive secondary carry build, let the Doom take the aura, which is perfectly viable this game. DDZ in trouble as Abed's looking for a kill here. Rotations are coming up, but nice job by Mozun blocking this Phoenix rotation as the 4-minute rune was coming in. All the supports were actually coming here for the 4-minute rune. They still try to kill Mozun, but Zephyr acknowledges he needs a bit more damage to accomplish that.
Yeah, I think he was... Maybe, I don't know if they actually scouted that Sal, but healing self canceled by DDZ. That's going to make him take the long walk of shame back home. So Abed coming out on top here early on, especially because we're about to hit the 5-minute mark. So Abed will be able to refill his bottle, and he is in a very, very good time.
Well, let's see. Candy Loon down bottom is not doing the... I mean, he's getting last hits, but of course he's also a potential threat. In your Dream can always kill him, as he's doing right now. You're going to slow him down, and there's not much escape for Nature's Prophet. Luckily, the hero's tanky enough to survive his first onslaught. But without a support, he's very vulnerable. If the Oracle decides to keep staying mid, it's going to be a tough lane for NP to farm up and be that second core.
DDZ is going to get a free wave here of experience, at least while Abed's refilling his bottle. Lucky that Abed's not 6 yet, though, but he has stacked for himself, so he's about to get it. But he's going to choose... I mean, he can't really kill the Doom. 1060 HP with 3% magic resist. Yeah, good luck, right? At least at level 6 on a Storm Spirit, you need a +1, if not +2 with that one. So he's just going to continue farming. But Storm Spirit level 6 here quite soon. So maybe at the 6-minute rune, depending on what he finds for his bottle, he might be able to turn that into the gank. So that's what I would be looking out for here. And I think that's going to be quite impactful on if he can A, get the rune, B, what rune he gets, and then if what he decides to do with it. Yeah, we'll Tier 1 mid laners. Do they use runes?
They want to kill the Nature's Prophet in your Dream? No, never mind. It's another attempt at really pushing him out of the lane, but not quite enough, to really kill him. And Abed, as we mentioned, the soft counter is kind of working here. Slightly above the Doom. Not quite destroying him in terms of net worth, though, because of course the Devour is a thing. And DDZ did go for an early point in Infernal Blade, which I love seeing.
It's a regen.
It's a regen rune. That's great for the Storm. Yeah. This is also, first Storm actually is the farming rune, because we just go from camp to camp and farm every stack in the world. Yeah, this is really good.
Do they have stacks going? We do, actually. We've got a few stacks that Yamada is going to go, oh, hello. Oh, this is lovely. Thank you, March.
Yeah. I don't know if Yamata is going to take them, but Vinland's Avalanche toss, literally, like the first level of each. That's not enough to do anything. That's not enough to take any stack. I mean, yes, you triple the damage of Avalanche, so you have Avalanche that deals 225 damage. That's not enough to kill creeps. Not even for a small camp, dude. Yamate needs more HP. Or more.
Here goes Abed. It's the farming rune, like you said. He's going to farm the stack of the easy camps. He's going to walk over, probably zip-zap a little bit.
Oh, nice job using that Centaur stomp to their advantage. Very smart from them. Or maybe just very dumb by Kuku thinking he could farm that in the guise of the enemy team, as they had 2 sentries around to make sure Kuku cannot take any stack here. Bottom lane though, Candyloon also in trouble. Wrath of Nature is available if he wants to TP and help. Or the support's coming in, they're not. Candyloon's left alone, and because he's left alone, he's also going to die alone.
March, again, stacking yet again, so it's going to be triple stacks here is the play, but the support's slowly making quick work. I'm sorry, I was missing the kill bottom. I did catch it at the very end, but I was like, oh my god, March, he's double stacking. He's got stacking with Soul Rip here, the passive damage, as he will get tossed back into DDZ, and scenes of the last game here where the jungle getting invaded, but Muzum getting bullied there by the triple stack. So Kuku is here, and he does have 3 points in the Sandstorm, so he's going to be able to finish these off very, very quickly, though. So it's not going to be as bad as it was last game where DDZ picked up quite a few stacks.
Here comes your Storm as well, trying to find Yamate. Right, a couple of Phoenix, Yamate, most likely going to die. Oh, maybe not. Still burning. The Doom are trying to get in on Abed. They do. And now as the counter initiation by DZ, as even Lance joins in, trying to get the kill on Abed. He's not going to find either kill, but he does help out and gets the assist gold. Yeah, not ideal. Honestly, when you haunt, you want to get the kills for the Spectre. If the Storm is doomed, he's not going to go anywhere, so you might as well let him have the last hit, but fine. Yeah, DZ gets it, it's okay.
I think that's totally fine, to be honest, right? Because it's space for the Space Maker right now. A little bit of extra farm for him. That's not going to end up hurting your team. March is likely going to die here, though, unfortunately for him. As he will now get his life consumed by the Mana Void. And Lance as well, he does get to stick around and actually farms a stack, so it's not like he just came over and didn't really get anything out of it. But I totally get your point as well. But I think Lance is not too upset with how that one went.
No, getting double kill here, and now participating in the third one up top for Kuku. He has the TP, and oh yeah, you Avalanche toss. Yep. Of course, going to TP on you. Yeah, I don't know. That combo doesn't deal that much damage. I don't know if you really should just wait. But I guess you weren't going to kill him otherwise.
I think he got a little bit inspired of DDZ's plays last game, right? Where he saw him blowing up supports. He's like, I want to, that's me. I'm on the Tiny, you know? But no, sorry, buddy.
Nah, you're support Tiny, brother. Yeah, you might have the same name, but your positions are different.
It's like after you watch like a clip of No-Tail playing Meepo, and you're like, wow, that's incredible. I'm going to play Meepo now. And then
you go 0-15 and you cry.
Yeah, pretty much. And you get counterpicked 5 times.
Well, because they make it look easy. They make it look like these things just happen naturally to them. And then you realize.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And then you realize, oh, these guys are actually really mechanically skilled.
Yep, and you are a 2K player, so that's why it happens, Kuku. Here's the dust.
Trying again.
Avalanche toss, but again, they should be able to TP. Oh, this time you can't actually, because Oracle's nearby. Well played, Mozun. Being in the right place, right time. He's level 5 already, but not level 6, so he can't really save Yamate, and he realizes his mistake, attempting to even come close to Yamate, as Abe wants to punish him. Zephyr's even joining in as well. Mozun starting to fall to this trio. Heals back up with a magic wand. Also the Fairy Fire. He's really taking him out for a walk, but they're committing to this, and they end up killing Mozun there. And now Abed says, well, let's go further. Let's go invade the enemy triangle. Lance trying to farm to the last second, but they have a ward here, so they see exactly where he is. And Lance, who played a bit too greedy and might get punished for it. There's no haunt. He tries to go for the Banthroon, does get it,
He's a gamer.
but at the expense of his own life.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for how quickly that unravels for Team Star. Yeah, they definitely had to commit for the kill. I feel like, oh, hold that thought. They're going to drop a Tombstone. DDZ going to get slowed a bit by this, as maybe March going to try and get himself denied to Roshan. We'll get that one perfectly. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a bash though hit from Roche, so it's not really.
I know. Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, he timed that perfectly. The zombies take 2 hits for Roche to cleave, and then the third one was just for March. Now it's my turn, and he gets 1 hit. I think, unfortunately for them, had Oracle actually died relatively quicker, you know, if he didn't actually run them to the tier 1 tower, Spectre might have lived there. But then it's so natural to just continue running so aggressively, right? Whereas if you stop where he died is now compared to underneath the tier 1 tower, maybe the Spectre is left alone, but actually probably not with the ward there.
No, because they saw it and they had the advantage.
Yeah.
The mistake there was that you saw them running towards your area from Lance, obviously, because they kept running, right? It was pretty obvious, and you kept farming. That was a bit of a mistake by Lance. You didn't have to do that. I mean, yes, you have to maximize your farm this game, but not to the degree that you're going to risk your life. Okay, smoke up top right away. BDZ, Mozun, and Yamate. Level 6 on Yamate, level 6 on Mozun as well.
Doom is available.
Yeah, I think they can kill pretty much anything they find with just with the Doom and the Tiny combo. If they can find Abed, that'll be ideal. They have drums, but they don't have Blink Dagger, so it's a bit difficult to engage on them. And look at this, they're really biding their time. They more or less know where Abed has gone to, but they're not expecting this weird route. Wave. He's gonna cut the lane, and now, okay, they can definitely go on him now. Fortune's End, charging it up, very well done. This route will give you enough time to doom him, or should, with the toss. There we go. Doom, Abed, balling into the high ground. They don't have vision there? They do. Okay, so that TP was very hopeful. I thought Abed did a master play, but instead, he's just going to be running around the enemy base, hopeless, hoping that he doesn't get the kill to the Doom, trying to kill himself to Dire.
Report Abed, my mid is running down mid. Literally dying in the enemy fountain.
I mean, I really thought that Abed had found a place where he had no vision up in the high ground, because there is a place, I think, where you don't have vision, but...
no, not until you start losing structures.
Oh, really?
You're thinking of where there's no true sight. There's no true sight there on the towers, but they're fighting underneath the tier 1 tower. Yamade, he's going to get caught by the stun. DDZ a little bit too aggressive here. And Dream, he's even going to be fighting quite a bit. They do have the ulti for him, for DDZ. That's going to allow him to turn and fight onto March, but he's certainly going to die at the end of this one. In your Dream, I think he recognizes that. Wow, okay, never mind. Doom's strong. Not strong enough. He eventually will die to the crit, but my goodness.
That's not good at all, mate. Doom's strong, my ass. He just died for support. What was that?
Well,
plus a tiny kill?
Well, I'm saying Doom's strong because he lived through the false promise.
Yes, I guess, but like it's still not that great for him dying. Giving the kill to the PA as well, who almost got Battle Fury. Very similar timing to last game's Troll. And okay, they try to kill her. Candy Loon are just committing suicide. Nah, Blade Mail surprise.
Yep. He's had that Blade Mail since he got that tier 1 top lane, so he's going to come over here and defend it very nicely. Cuckoo, no point in the epicenter yet, which is fine. Now that you've maxed actually Burrow Strike, you might consider putting a point into it here once he gets level 11. Well, oh, actually, look, Lance is actually on for Blade Mail as well. I like this. That's the earlier activation Spectre you were talking about yesterday.
Yeah. The Blade Mail is a good idea this game, especially because you saw the PA is opting for Battle Fury, because that's going to be a lot of spread damage that she can't really prevent. So if she wants to hit a single target, she can't. She can hit more people, so you can just stand around Blade Mail. I like the choice of Blade Mail on Spectre this game, because you know it's going to be you're going to make this game. So you need to kind of win and survive the early mid game when the enemy team is trying to beat you. And the Blade Mail helps you a lot in that. Doom also has Blink, by the way, which is the more traditional build on Doom. It's literally, I think the build is called Get the Doom Off build. So you go BKB afterwards, you go Shadow Blade. Anything that allows you to get the Doom off, essentially, is your win. And even Refresher later on.
It's a big, it's not a win condition, I wouldn't go as far to call that, but it's a big team fight win condition, isn't it?
What, the Doom? Yeah,
getting
especially
Doom
on the Storm.
Off, yeah, especially on the Storm.
I mean, that's why it was built this way. Like, I'm not joking that literally when you ask pros, like, how do you build the Doom? It's like, just build whatever you need to make sure you get the Doom off. Like, it's just that simple. There's no more complexity to this hero in the mid lane. Some people opted for more varied builds, like Shivas and Pipe, Aura Carriers. Some people tried with the Ags, but in the end, the more popular build is the just allowing Doom to exist.
There you go. Swapping over to net worth now. We get one on the day, but there we go. Swapping over to net worth to see the PA actually taking the lead as they are fighting over in the river. The Doom onto the Sand King, actually. That's going to stop him from thinking of channeling the Epicenter. Haunts now on the way in as Abed now joining in on the fight, but the Sunray keeping them all alive. Finally, they've managed to get Cuckoo as March still alive himself as well. Abed finding the backliners, but they've already gotten off the Oracle ulti. Now Candy Loon looking to try and escape, but Abed destroying those trees as quickly as they were there. As Lance now will not be left to TP away. He's going to be sucked in by the Vortex and killed in your Dream with an ultra kill. And so DDZ is going to die before the TP completes.
I don't know what to say there. That wasn't that good. I believe I star. You were fighting near the enemy tier 1, so not a really good place either. The enemy had the high ground as well. Yes, you had Doom, like the ability, which is great, I suppose, but you weren't really in position to join them. And Among Us also has the advantage early game, especially with the Tombstone, with the Supernova, which they didn't even have to use there. Spectre also sacrificed himself to kill the bird, which, why? Like, I know it's a kill, but if she hadn't chased over the bird, and she had just TP'd immediately, when she realized the fight was losing, Lance would have survived. But she chose instead to go for Phoenix, which was completely unnecessary there. A kill's a kill, yes, but not at the cost of your life, because now kills are not reliable gold, so it's no longer worth it ever to do that. So, okay. I'm not really a big fan of that play by Star. And you really can't afford to do these things because if you give the enemy team leeway, then Among Us is just going to take over this game. That's their plan anyway.
Another problem was the Doom target was actually sanking in that fight. Not anyone. I mean, and he was already in Sandstorm, so he's like, all right, I guess I'll just stand here and click people with my Caustic Finale.
Yeah, I mean, the Sanking wasn't really bothered that fight. Doom had to tank a bunch of the fight as well, and he didn't really accomplish much by tanking this because the backliners or the supposed damage dealers, which is Candy, Loon, and Spectre, didn't really do much either because they don't have the items yet to deal damage. This kill could be really good if they find Abed truly, but I find it really difficult to kill him without Doom. Oh, okay, they're warding as well. They'll find Abed immediately now. Blink Dagger reveal. Abed, surprise. Fortune's End as well. Well played. They had the War Stomp as well to elongate those chain stuns and managed to kill him even without wasting an ultimate. That's a really, really dire smoke.
Yeah. It's a really great one as well. Perfect target. Without the ulti, I don't think Abed was probably expecting that one. There's really there's some good wards on the map, but there's no wards actually watching the entrance of their jungle. But it's good stuff there.
Yeah, but they were smoked anyway, so it didn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, they went for these fighting? I'm not really sure. They did use the tombstone.
Oh my god, they're fighting.
It's crazy.
He's role-playing DDZ from last game. Lance has been going in as well. I guess why not? Blade Mail on cooldown just to be able to finish off the tombstone. Now they can actually conceivably take a fight as the drums are going to be used there. Try and retreat.
Nice. They're going to sacrifice the supports. Ah, nice War Stomp as well. They stopped the Icarus dive with the Avalanche, as you mentioned. Well played. But it's only the supports, and I think the moment that Sanking Burrow strike to the bottom, sorry, to the the low ground, it was very obvious they were leaving their supports to die. Like, they were saying, Phoenix, if you can Icarus dive, great, you survive, and March, you're dead. You're dead. At the moment that Burrow strike away, you're done.
Yeah, it was a good job holding it down DDZ to make sure they couldn't get any additional targets, as the Doom was just coming off of cooldown, so he's not able to find anything better. And there they go. Oh, what's that one? In Your Dream popping off already, though. There's going to be the Desolator already, so that's why Mozen melting just immediately.
Zephyr gonna try to push this tower in the mid lane. But it's Lance here to defend it, not bad. Almost Wanta style completed for them as well. We have Clumsy Net on the Spectre, which is great. You can't, by the way, dispel that Clumsy Net because it does not count as a debuff. It counts as a buff actually when you use it on yourself. So you can't Manta that out. So very careful when you use Clumsy Net. Okay, so I got it. You cannot dispel Clumsy Net when you use it. When you use on yourself, yes. Sorry. You cannot dispel when you use on yourself. It's the same way as when you use Yule Scepter on yourself, right? And you cannot dispel that because it's not. It's considered a buff. So yeah, it's very interesting interaction. That's why a lot of life stealers will be like, why? I raged. Why am I still Clumsy Netted?
Volvo, please.
I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, to be honest. It seems too clever to be intentional. Most great mechanics in Dota used to be bugs, so that's how I see it.
I think it is. I think it is intentional. I seem to recall a time when it was first dead.
How does that Gaben boot taste, mate? How does the Valve boot taste? Delicious, I bet.
Pretty good.
But not as good as my Monster Energy drink.
So they are smoked up, but the scan actually finds them perfectly. Lance, hop in the ulti, good escape, however, by Kuku, but they're going to go a bit from more. Not sure they're going to go on the Doom. Looking like they want to drop it. It's going to be onto In Your Dream, but a great Supernova there onto the high ground. As will they get the kill onto one? PA within the Nine Range. Instead, they're going to heal her up. In Your Dream might consider to stick around and fight as Kuku. He's going to get off at least the epicenter. Now Lance, saved by the False Promise, is now Abed joining in onto the action. Everyone's solo. This is a perfect time for Abed to pick up plenty of kills, but they're going to stun him up. Instead, the Avatos combo, he's going to be able to get off at least a little bit further away, continuing to chase his Lance, supported by now just Mozen and Candyloon at this time as the Dagger picks up the kill onto the Oracle. Onto the tier 3 goes Lance in the meantime. Abed continuing to just kite them out as Lance does not have a Dagger active either, so he's just stuck here, trapped.
Oh my goodness.
The seeds of fortune.
What was that, dude? Why would you continue to chase after that? Like, the teamfight went actually kind of decent for you, but it was, again, a really bad position teamfight because you needed the tier 2, right? So it's not the greatest teamfight, but you managed to muster a kill or two. You didn't lose your Spectre. It was pretty decent. Candyloon got away. Not bad, right? You run back, lick your wounds. You're not supposed to win now anyway. Why, then, do you go for those kills and sacrificing your carry, which is what's supposed to win you the game right now? Because you're playing around the Spectre completely, so there's no need for you to play that aggressively at all.
Look at this. In Your Dream, he's been baited.
Okay, so he's trying to roleplay Lance. but he's gonna survive this.
Yeah, he's got too much healing.
You're a PA though. You're much. Oh, never mind. Zephyr does die to the wrath of nature, but they didn't have vision over Inventory anymore.
He's gone for the Holy Locket again.
Oh, he has.
It's really working out.
Yeah.
What was I gonna go on about? Yamada actually got really unlucky. He jumped the Phoenix, and Phoenix survived, I think, on like 30 HP or something. Barely gets the Icarus dive away after that. And, well, eventually they find that bird at the very end, so that's what matters.
Yeah, we see the smoke here. Let's see what we're going to find. Bolt Lightning. Nope. Barricade by the Oracle.
Oh.
Great. Find the Storm. Candy Loon. We have the mech. We have the Blade Mill as well. And DDZ joins in. Burst strikes upping him. We don't have any Doom for 10 seconds. DDZ, why'd you go in without a Doom? Trying to save Candiloon. In fact, Candiloon might also die because of this. Yamate gave him some space. Not bad, but doesn't kill March in the process. Yamate might be the sacrificial lamb here as DA just tears him to shreds. And it's similar for Candiloon, who cannot survive those crits.
It's the second ult kill.
A really clean kill.
I don't know. I think I guess they've lost the plot, is what you like to say a lot, right?
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Because they're just they're going in when the spells aren't ready. They're kind of, I don't want to say, they've got like save your buddy syndrome as well as I must carry the game syndrome, you know? Like they've got both of them, it almost seems like.
Now, they seem to be losing the plot quite a lot in terms of where they're taking the fights. Their positioning for the fights have been not really great this whole match. Like the fights, the way they're playing the fights seems fine for the most part, but first of all, as you mentioned, save your buddy, there's not much priority. They seem to be treating all cores equally, which is not the case in Dota. Dota is definitely not an equal game. The cores are definitely much more important some than others, so you shouldn't be sacrificing Doom for the NP, and especially if NP went for this Aura build, which clearly means less impact on this hero. But let's say that DDZ seems to be less important than NP. That's fine then, but you've still been taking 2 or 3 fights near the enemy towers, which are completely unnecessary, and you didn't need to do whatsoever. And now Among Us has the complete domination of the game. Because, yeah, 2K lead doesn't seem like much, but it's 2K lead against a guy that creates his own farm, which is Doom. So it's a big, big deal. Especially because Doom went mid.
That is funny. Yeah, Abed now with the Bloodstone, he's actually already got 2 charges, and he's going for the Agnum Scepter. Great item from this game. I mean, they just already have so much team fight control, and with that alone, they're going to be able to absolutely run these guys over. It's starting to look pretty bad for them here at this point. Let's take a look here. Our Spectre going next into that Basher is going to help. No Diffusal, no Radiance, so no classic quote-unquote Spectre items except here for the Manta style. DDZ is close to the BKB at the very least, so that's going to help a lot against the Storm until he's got that Agnum Scepter rocking. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what else are we looking for here? It's you know, you've got a Nature's Prophet on your team. Sure, he hits pretty hard, but he's actually opted to not go for the Orchid first, second, or even third with the Pipe and Mech in his inventory after the Blade Mail. So Orchid's not going to be up here anytime soon either at the rate he's going to be able to farm it at. So it could see In Your Dream go flawless this game. He's currently 13-0-4, just having a great time.
No, Doom again. Trouble. Abed actually used to go for Mozu instead. Very clever placement there. Killing the support first. He's low on mana, but still has Aegis, so he's perfectly fine. This is the time when you can actually dive tier 3s. But even then, look at this. Look how safely they're playing. They could, of course, go in with a double damage, and they'll only find the targets that are easy to kill, like Candy Loom, for example. Blade Mill used. Okay, the Supernova onto the tier 3. They don't seem to care any longer. DDZ walks in, but he misses that stun because of the BKBs. Perfectly timed. And now DDZ, despite his own BKB, will get stunned by the Supernova, now destroyed by a PA In Your Dream. Surprised them with a 10-second BKB they could do nothing against, and this was the perfect dive. That, much more controlled, much more well thought out. Well played Among Us. They're honestly playing such a good game. Both games. I was honestly expecting Among Us to do much worse ever since the roster changes, not because the replacements are worse, but because, you know, new team takes a while to adjust to them. But
you know what's fascinating is not only do we have 1 Holy Locket, we actually have 2 Holy Lockets here, with March actually deciding to build one up on the Undying. So I'd be curious to take a look at his healing stats here at the end of the game. So remind me if I forget, because I don't know if that's really as effective as he thinks it might be. It is a second wand to use on your allies, though, for the additional burst healing. So there is that to look forward to, but I'm not convinced that there are not more efficient items. But he is March. He always likes to play. He goes, well, I'm position 5. I can get about 2k farm. I can afford one 2k gold item 20 minutes into the game. So he always decides to get whatever the best item is. He was a really big fan of usually Medallion. So it's interesting to see him go for something completely different. But on the Undying, I think it's not bad.
March is from the EE school of thought that if you think an item is OP, you build it on anything, anyone, ever, right? And that's kind of the idea. And I've seen March do this a lot, where he'll go for quote-unquote weird builds of turn heroes just because he thinks an item is really strong.
Yep. Abed just needed to zip over a little bit further. Does not walk around the trees. He zips through them. And it keeps himself alive a little bit longer now with the False Promise especially, but they're going to cancel his TP now as Mozum. Like to drop a DDZ looking to try and turn this. They have lined it down to In Your Dream as well, but look at this. There's too much healing. Finally, they're going to be forced off the edge because everyone's actually kind of just melting here to Lance with the Blade Mail activated now, but the Supernova, no one actually laid a single hit onto it, and Kuku lands a 3-man Burrow Strike. In the meantime, Candy Loom plus Yamada onto the backlines, trying to do anything they can here, but In Your Dream, I think he's still too strong. He's going to be able to turn this one around still. Oh my god, Kuku.
That was really well played.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you're starting to get into your own as Star. Like, they're actually starting to get a network to actually be able to fight. But In Your Dream is so far ahead. It's very difficult to match any longer. And still the teamfight coordination by Among Us is so well played. Like, I said earlier when I was looking at the drafts that I think teamfight drafts are quote-unquote easier to execute. But to the degree that they're executing this Among Us, it's not really that easy. Like, they're very, very coordinated with their stuns. Kuku particularly.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Like, Kuku is so good, dude. Like, last match in the Centaur, he bedazzled us, and now again, he's doing the same.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And look at this healing. Look at this healing.
Yeah, that Holy Locket, dude. Zephyr is also a player that ever since I saw him on Geek Fam, which is where, I mean, he used to play mid actually when he was on RRQ, and I actually remember him very fondly. But then when he went to support on Geek Fam, which is when he started to become much more well known.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, Alvaro, and I want you to continue this after, but they're memeing us now. Abed is now queued up a Holy Locket.
I was going to talk about how great the idea was, because Zephyr's so creative. But
I'm going to save you.
He's just a very creative player. I've seen him play on really weird 4s that work out. He was the famous Ember 4 that always played in SCA because he's so good on it. He has often odd builds, but that work out for him. I think this guy experiments a lot with the game. He reminds me a lot of the 4 Zoomers guys, where he just constantly thinks about things.
Cuckoo has a Holy Locket too.
Okay, I'm done. What is this? I'm just trying to praise you. Why?
We have 4.
They're just memeing out the Locket. They heard us the last cast, and they're all building Locket.
They're like, hey, that SeekNStrike guy really loves Lockets. Let's build plenty of them to show us how much we love them. But look at this, the team fight breaking out of Avo. I think this might just be the last one. Beautiful stuff there from Abed with the Aghanim Scepter. Vortex locking in 2 is In Your Dream. Is going to be now beyond godlike 18-0-7. Lucky that they only stop at the Tiny there, so they're going to turn around and then shop the mid lane to Barracks. But the GG will be called. We will not get to see 5 Holy Lockets. It's a very sad day for Dust and Dota 2.
Sad they turned it into a meme. I thought it was a legit strat. I was so excited when I seen the strat. It was just a meme. Storm Holy Locket guy, or what is it? No, Sanking Holy Locket. New
meta.
Yeah, new meta.
I don't know about that. That was that one was pretty great. That was a good match. I mean, that one was, I think, definitely way easier for Among Us here. It felt like last game we definitely had a little bit of back and forth. Team Star sometimes had the kind of had the reins of the game, maybe not quite completely, right? They weren't always in the driver's seats, but this one it felt like Among Us. They always had 2 hands on the wheels, you know, positioned at 10 and 3, and they were checking their mirrors. They were just doing everything they needed to do this game. Again, we see March quote unquote feeding on the Undying. That's just really space created now, isn't it?
Yep. I don't know. I think that game was just such better play by Among Us. I don't really want to fault Star for how they played. They made a couple really gross mistakes, really, but it could have been just as inspiration for them because they understood that their draft was just really hard to execute this game because they had to get to the late game really desperately. So, yeah, in the moment, you kind of go, what are you doing? But afterwards, you go, well, if you don't do that, are you still going to win the game? Like, sometimes taking risks is valuable. And Among Us just played so much better than them. Among Us was crazy good, though.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be Among Us taking the 2-0 victory here. So they will go 4-0 flawless in their 2 matches. Whereas Team Star, they're going to lose their first one. So Yeah, that's going to be it for this series, but that's only match number 1 today for the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online. We'll be back for our next match here in just a bit, folks. You got SeekNStrike and Avo Plus on the call with you all day today, so stick around as we'll be back with Neon Esports versus Signal Ultra in just a bit. We'll see you then.